the keys all day to an E46 M3. These are getting pricey. They are going up pretty much like a rocket at the moment. I remember way back when before I started YouTube, I tried to buy one of these and it was £7,000. It had 90,000 miles on it. It was black with red leather and it was a manual. £7,000 that car was. Now, you ain't getting one under 10 grand, I tell ya. Today we're in an SMG model, which I'm a huge fan of. I've driven a CSL. I get the SMG thing. I am a big fan. We're going to take it down Military Road. Again, my favourite road on the Isle of Wight. It's a beautiful summer's day. Let's see what this car is like in 2021. Talk about how much these are going for. This one I'm driving today, it's a good £15,000 car, this one, because it's sorted, because it's an individual model, and because of that M badge. It is phenomenal, this car. But make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, but onwards to the B roads. We're interrupting today's video to give a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Yes Auto. Yes Auto is the one-stop shop for buying any car, with an experience that's always easy and enjoyable. Navigating onto the website, you can select each brand that you want to look at, each model, and even down to colour variant. You can also select through the images, as well as looking at brand new cars in 360 degrees inside and out. I myself spend a lot of time just looking at cars for sale, so it's awesome to jump on the Yes Auto website to have a look at cars for sale. You can even do a smart search on new and used cars with an option to select cash price or monthly costs. Their aim is to make car buying easy and enjoyable. Yes Auto are the one-stop shop offering a simple, impartial way to configure and compare new and used cars from almost any manufacturer, with a whole load of clever tools and media content for total reassurance. Once again, a huge thank you to Yes Auto for sponsoring today's video. There is a link in the description to the Yes Auto website. Thank you so much again to Yes Auto for sponsoring today's video, but let's get back to the action. So, we've got a tunnel, or a bridge even, not a tunnel. Honestly, right, this car has got the best mods you could ever put on an M3 E46. In my opinion, this is the most sorted version that you're gonna want. If you want one of these, buy it now. I said this years ago that M3s, especially E46s, are gonna be sought after, and that means they're gonna go up in price. And right now, they have doubled in price since the last time I actually drove one of these. I drove an SMG one years ago for the channel, and I think that was about £7,000 or £8,000 at the time. This one is well into the mid-teens, this car, especially in the current market. That's what I really wanted to base this video around. Is yes, we are down one of the most beautiful roads on the Isle of Wight, but I wanted to understand why these are fetching so much money, and you know, revisit this platform, especially because if you're watching this and you want an E46 M3 and you've always lusted for one, just like me, and you know, in the past you may have gone for one and decided that maybe you shouldn't and maybe you should go for something else, the time to buy is now. I tell you, the time to buy is now. In 2021, this is the car you want to be buying, because it's not necessarily the last of the naturally aspirated M3s, because we do have the E90 and E92 and E93 shape for that. They are naturally aspirated, they are V8, but they do not feel like this whatsoever. If you back-to-back drove those cars, this one and that one together, there would be a big difference, and you would notice it. So this one being an SMG model, a lot of people in the comments will be like, no, I'd rather a manual. SMG is disgusting. But if you understand what the SMG is for, and then go and enjoy it, and maybe even drive one that's so sorted like this one, it has the CSL mapping on the gearbox, it has that induction from that carbon fibre inlet. Just drop the speed a little bit down into second. Mate, this thing is an absolute tool of B-road beauty. This thing, I tell you, it is ballistic in its performance. Yes, it's not the manual. There'll be so many people out there, but I don't think if you're pitching this against its manual brother, you shouldn't be. This is a completely different car in its own element. I've got both hands on the steering wheel, I'm flipping through gears, and I'm not here to tell you guys that the SMG is better than the manual, because it's down to personal preference, but today, I am in awe of this car. Years to come, these cars will be the one that got away for a lot of people, just like the RS Turbo generation. This generation of M3 will be sought after, if not already. I do believe, again, there'll be people in the comments that will be saying, yes, Jamie, they're already sought after. They are hard to find, they are getting expensive, but you think they're expensive now? You wait, give it another 5 years, give it another 10 years. These cars will be silly money, just like the E30 generation. Unfortunately, the E36, I don't think really picked up any momentum. Yes, they've gone up in price a little bit, but they're just not the same, in my opinion. I am after shooting one of them though, so if you do have one, let me know. So guys, we've just pulled over. Let's have a quick look round this E46 M3. Now, I am going to be biased. I love these cars. I've lusted for one for years. Body styling and stuff, I just think they got it right in this generation. The bulged arches, the bulged bonnet as well, as you can see. The Estral Blue really shows this off. Bulge in the bonnet with the bulged wheel arches going down the side. Again, love the E46 shape. I think it just looks so purposeful and thick, especially against newer, non-thick cars that are performance-based. Sometimes the older stuff just looks better. The curves and stuff are just better. Anyway, pre-facelift, 2002 E46, this one. So this one does have the LED rear lights, and as you can see up front, projector front lights in it. Just standard M3 stuff. I do like the fact that the grills are still silver. A lot of M3 owners would probably opt for black ones there. Me personally, I quite like the idea that they are still silver. Other than that, it's relatively standard on the outside. The CSL, genuine CSL wheels really fill the arches on these E46 platforms. This one has big BBK brakes all round. Not saying that the standard brakes aren't good enough, but this one has been opted with some bigger brakes, just so you can slam your brakes on and enjoy this car a little bit more. Like the gills down here still in the chrome, and thickness of the rear. Let me take you guys round. The thickness of the rear end on these M3s just looks so right. Got the quad exhaust at the back there, bit of carbon. Look at that bit of carbon just going across the back. This has a Super Sprint back box, sort of mid back box on it, so it does sound really good, especially with the SMG box. It blips down so nicely. The raw straight six coming out of a Super Sprint, when you downshift on the SMG, you guys would hear it. It sounds so good. I want to show you guys this part, because this is what makes the noise. It has this carbon fiber inlet going into the throttle bodies, which of course the CSL has. That's how it, you know, creates so much noise and so much, you know, a little bit more power, not so much more power, but this one has it too. That's how it's getting that sound, and this is a must. I know it's an expensive must, but this is a must for every E46 M3 owner. Jumping inside the car, first thing I want to point out is the pillarless doors in the coupe. So nice, so cool. Now, a few things to point out. Sorry the wheels turned, but jumping inside, SMG box, I know some people may not like that, but I appreciate this car for what it is, so I quite like the SMG feel. You do have severity in your gear change just down here, a very M3 of this generation, or at least M car trait. It clunks around and it forces it into gear, but I absolutely love the feel. This one, as you can see, has the bigger sat-nav screen with an M logo, and it has the Harman Kardon sound system, which again in 2021 actually sounds really good. This is a very drivable and dailyable car. This, you have the slight grey M dials there with the orange needles, such a classic look to these M3s. I think this is a usable and very nice, and again sought after BMW individual packed, or at least from the factory it was an individual, because of the paint. A rare, relatively rare option now, I suppose, but all of them are slightly rare if they're not gold, I suppose. But that's enough of me waffling about this E46 M3. Let's jump back in it, send it some B-rows. We'll go that way. But yeah, I think if you're after one of these, the time to buy is now. I always say that, time to buy is now, because stuff like this is only going up in price. You know, this generation, they're not making any more. Just like the CSL that I drove many moons ago now, absolutely loved that car. And this is the closest you're ever going to get for this price bracket. You're not going to be able to buy a CSL, you know, under 60, 50, 60,000 pounds. You've got the money, and if you're willing to go and buy one, do it right now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next one.